All right, good morning, everyone. Might as well pick this spot here, this beautiful view, for our third session of the question and answers. I hope this is helping. I see you guys are tuning in a little bit. Still got plenty of questions to go through. Please continue to leave those questions in the comments, whether it's on this video or the other videos, and keep putting this information out there and just try to help you guys where I can. We're out back behind the house. A beautiful morning. Clouds cleared up early. It's not as cold as it's been. It's about 50 degrees, so figured it'd be a nice time to come out here and take a look at this view, talk a little business. So let's get started. Okay, great video. Do you base your salary off of how much is brought in each month? I assume it changes month to month. That's a very good question. There's a lot of ways to pay yourself. As I've said numerous times on this channel, the information that I try to give you is just what I'm doing. It's not the only way to do things. I like to speak about what I'm doing because that's what I know. In my instances, I pay myself the exact same salary every single month, regardless of if you make 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 in the business. I pay myself the same. Now, the idea behind that is I work in a seasonal area. I don't work during the winter months except for plowing. While I do make a decent penny plowing, it's not consistent. I collect all my money up front, and I need to stretch that money along with everything else that I make during the season. And I also want to be able to carry enough money forward to pay some tax. And I also want to carry money forward to next season and grow my my business account from 5 to 10 to 25 to 100,000, whatever that may be, because that business account for me is what's gonna get me a new truck down the line under the business, update my equipment. That's my marketing budget comes from that. I'm also interested in getting some passive income as we go with real estate. I want my business to buy that. So I pay myself the same amount every single month, which is a very small portion actually of what the business actually brings in, and that allows me to stretch it. If you make $25,000 in a month and then you spend it, then you're right back to the running board, right? You got to be hustling, you got to get that 25 back. I just pull a little bit off as if I'm working for a bigger company. So on a much bigger scale, if you were to work for Coca-Cola might make 300 million one year, they might make 400 million one year, they might make $800 million one year, but all their employees are making a set salary every single month, right? And that's how you want your business to run, just on a smaller scale. It doesn't matter what your profits are, you pay yourself as an employee. Now down the line, once you guys have been in business, once I've been in business for a while, you're gonna have a war chest of business capital sitting there. So if you want to up your pay, you want to give yourself a nice Christmas bonus, you can do all those things. But when you first start out, and again, this is my opinion, you are just a means to an end. That company that you are starting, that is what is marketing, that is what is making the business, that is what is making the money, that is what's bringing in the business, doing the business, getting the clients. You are just running that business. For running that business, you take an income, for a portion of the income of that business, not the whole thing. So it's very easy. I've seen it with my own eyes. Guys get in and they leave a job that they weren't making a whole lot of money, or they weren't making this kind of money, and now they're making $5 grand a week. They're making 20 grand a month, and it's like winning the lottery, right? 20 grand comes in and 20 grand goes out. That is not the way that you want to be running your business. Okay, let me back up. That is not the way that I want to run my business. If you want to run your business that way, then all the power to you. If you got a nice cushy 9 to 5, and this is just a weekend hustle, and you're making 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,000 a month, you want to blow it? Hell yeah, go ahead and blow it. But if you're looking to make that money and stretch it and pay yourself consistently, take some time off, have some reserve business capital down the line, you want to take a portion of that money that your business is making and pay yourself. So the way that I figured out how much money I needed was I sat down, I went through, you know, everything's automated nowadays, right? So I went through my checking account, my savings account for my personal accounts, as well as my personal credit cards. And I started looking at the reoccurring numbers. What is coming out every single month? You know, you got mortgage, debt payment, electricity for the house, things to keep your personal life running. And then there's a bunch of junk in there. There are subscriptions to newspapers and fitness things and going out to eat, stuff that I didn't need. Went in there and I cut it all. I got rid of everything, you know, canceled my Amazon Prime account, just little things. I was like, man, it's just way too accessible. If I need something, I'm going to go to the store and get it. Amazon Prime, it's taking way too much money from me. So I canceled all that stuff. And I figured out that I need an X amount of dollars every month to run my life, not miss bills, not get kicked out on the street, keep putting food on the table. And I pay myself a little bit more than that. And that's it. That is what works for me at this point in my life. You know, my wife and I, we have 2 incomes in the house. We don't have kids yet, so it's a little simpler. It might not be as simple for you guys. You just want to find that number that works for you, and then keep the rest in the business every month. And then you're going to have a bankroll of money, and down the line, once you have $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 sitting in that business account, then you can up your soft wash pay, then you can give bonuses, then you can get trucks, then you can do all kinds of marketing. If you spend all that right away, it really limits your opportunities. So again, it all comes down to your personal preference and how you want to manage your money and manage your life. This is how I do it, and right now it's working for me. So back to the original question, I do not pay myself different every month. I aim to just make as much money as possible, and then I pay myself the same little bit every month just to keep my personal life going, and then I bankroll everything else in the business. What are you using for cleaning agents? This will be a simple one. I use bleach, I use water, and I use roof snot soap. A lot of guys ask for the roof snot, or the soap that I use roof snot. There's a million surfactants out there. They're most likely all the same, just different branding. Roof snot was recommended to me when I was getting started, and I've just used it ever since. It's fine. It's really nice and sticky on the roof. I use SH, you know, bleach. I do not subscribe or, you know, fall into any of the other crazy rust removers, stain removers, glass cleaners. Just there's all kinds of different, I mean, there's like a million things out there that you can do, different oxides, and I don't do any of it. I don't do any of it. I only have so much money that I feel like spending on the business. I like to keep my expenses really tight. And I also am trying to build a very inclusive and specific brand. I want to be the house wash guy, and I want to be the roof wash guy. You know, you want to call me for some gutters and maybe a deck clean every once in a while, I can do that. You start doing a million things. I can take the rust off, I can take this off, I can do that, I can reduce this, I can clean that up, I can do that. People won't know who you are. They'll try to recommend you for one thing, and they'll leave out the other 15 things that you do. Again, this is just my personal preference. This is how I like to run it. I like to carry water on the truck, bleach on the truck, and soap on the truck, and that's it. There's a lot of ways that you can make money out there, but you know, then you got to market for all these things, or you're trying to upsell all these things. There's a lot of money to be made by just putting bleach on a house and putting bleach and soap on a roof. And if you market yourself really, really well for those two things, that is all you're ever going to have to do. Now, again, that's just my personal preference. If you want to be the jack of all trades and you want to put a little marketing out and you want to be the guy for everything, then go ahead and do that. There are so many products out there that can grow your business, but it can also make it really clunky. And I try to just stay lean and just super streamlined, mainlined. This is what I do. This is what I'm really good at. This is my specialty. There's nothing in the house wash, roof wash field that I can't handle. Like, that's the confidence that you want to have, and that's what you want to be able to deliver to your clients. So that's just a little bit about me, but I don't use too many different cleaning agents. I like to keep it really simple and not have to be buying just a bunch of stuff. The other problem is that you go out and buy like a $50 bottle of like rust cleaner, let's just say. You get something really nice, or like a gutter bomb or whatever it might be, and you get 1 or 2 jobs, and then you just have like half a gallon of that crap sitting on your shelf from your truck, and then you buy something else and something else and something else. I mean, go down to any of our basements, right? How many aerosol cans of spray foam or paint? You buy a can of paint for something, and then it just sits in your house forever. It's the same thing with this stuff, right? So if you think that you're going to market, you think you're going to use it, then be my guest. I know that there are plenty of guys out there that are definitely whipping through these products. Absolutely, there's a lot out there. I just choose I choose not to go that way. Congrats on all this success, guys. In one of your videos, you mentioned that you had some before and after pics that we could get from you. How do we get those? All right, so this was a comment on a video that Chris and I did last year, kind of going into the winter months, kind of this time of year. So I appreciate that. Yeah, so this is actually a good question. I've been getting these questions for 1.5 years now. I also get a bunch about the Excel sheets that I use. I pop those up. Everyone wants to know if there's a template. Up until recently, there hasn't been. So I'm currently working on. Look, I've tried to transform. I've tried to transform my channel from basically showing you how I'm washing the houses and filling the tanks and stuff like that, to actually showing you guys how to run a business. Some of my most recent videos have really been getting a lot of great feedback. Some of the stuff that you guys say to me is really nice. It makes me feel like I'm actually helping you guys, and I do appreciate that. The next step is really going to be putting something really cohesive and really in-depth out there for you guys in the form of, as of right now, it seems like a never-ending document. In this document, we're going to be covering, well, to answer this question, every before and after photo that I've ever taken, that I've ever put on YouTube, or I'm sorry, that I've ever put on my Facebook page and any of my marketing ads. Those are all going to become available in this document, as well as all my Excel sheets, my templates for tracking your SH, your money management, your expenses, your clients. I don't pay for, as of right now, I don't pay for any CRM software. I like to do as much myself for free. I'm going to be creating all of these in a transferable way that you guys can hop right into them and get the same benefit out of them. When I first started, I had the same problem that most of you have, of how do I market if I've never done a job before? So you run the risk of going online and you take other guys' photos. I have definitely come across videos where guys have been calling out other guys for taking their photos. You know, people might call you out and say, you know, I don't think that photo is actually taken in this area. I heard you were new, blah, blah, blah. I am going to give all my photos out and put them in this document, and you guys are going to be free to use them on whatever kind of marketing you have. I'll never call you out if I see it online. I'll never call you out if you're in my area and it shows up to my door because you're EDDM into my house. I think that's kind of funny. Someone actually sent an EDDM out the other day and it came to my house. It wasn't for soft wash, it was for gutter installation. You know, people are out doing this stuff for different things. So you want to have an arsenal to pull from when you get started, and then once you have your own stuff out there, then you can transition into your own work and start showing people what you do and the quality of work that you're leaving behind. Some of the other things that are going to be in this document, just to name a few, everything to start your business from the beginning, starting an LLC, figuring out if you want an S corp, whether it's sole proprietorship, how to set that up, how to go through all the hoops, whether you see an attorney, use LegalZoom, whatever that might be. Marketing and branding, I feel, is the biggest downfall to a lot of you guys. It's something that you've never had to do before. A lot of guys think that there's just not business out there. They're only getting 1 or 2 calls. It's because you're not marketing right. Your phone should be going off. If you go and find one in your area, go find one neighborhood and drive through that neighborhood, I'll bet a few $100 that you can't get through the end of that neighborhood without seeing at least 5 or 6 houses, if not 20, that could use your services. Your only problem is that you're not getting yourself in front of them, and I'm going to show you how. Some other things, insurance. Insurance is a big one. Most guys are getting ripped off by the insurances out there. All the insurance companies know that the soft wash guys are taking off. They need to be insured, but they have no idea what they're doing. They're getting you guys for $800-900 a month. I'm going to show you who to get hooked up with for $100 a month to get covered. Job quoting. You guys are having real issues job quoting. It's the easiest thing in the world. You just don't know how. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. It's so simple that you learn it once You'll never have to, there's no formulas, there's no per square footage. Elevator pitches, I'm going to have all my elevator pitches in there. I can go up to a client and I can talk and talk and talk and talk without skipping a beat, because I practiced it, I've rehearsed it, it's written down in my mind. And you want to use this whether you're texting, whether you're on the phone, whether you're using a lead service, when you're doing any kind of marketing on Facebook, whatever that may be. You want to have your elevator pitch. All the Excel sheets, all the photos, and then of course money management. There's going to be a lot on money management. I'm talking about how I'm paying myself and all that stuff. It's all going to be exclusive in this document, some videos that have never been on YouTube. And I mean, you guys have seen all the wash videos. Any of you guys can get out there and wash a house. Any of you guys can buy a couple tanks and run hoses to it. You know, we can talk a little bit about that too, but you need to know how to run a business. You need to know how to run a business. Washing a house, washing a roof, as long as you don't fall off, is the easiest thing you'll ever do in your life. You need to know how to run a business, because if you go out and make $5 grand and you don't know what to do with your money, it's going to be gone. So yes, those pictures are going to be available. They're going to be available over winter. This is going to be wrapping up. I'm working on it for a really long time, and I'm going to be getting that out to you guys. So make sure you, if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, because that's where you're going to be finding out when that information drops. Hello, this is a great opportunity for us to learn. Thanks. Have you done any HOA work? That's a homeowners association. I have roughly 13 townhomes across the street from where I live. Combo of 2 and single story lining one side of the street for roughly 2 to 2.5 blocks. Some with a lot of foliage, some without. How would you go about pricing something like that and seal the deal with a possible contract without undercutting myself? Sorry for the winded question. I'm out of breath reading it. Listen, HOAs are good to get your foot in the door, but here's one thing on HOAs, at least the HOAs in my area. They're probably all a little different. The HOAs that I've been come in contact with, I've done a few jobs in an HOA near here in Saratoga, and left behind a good product, and the person that I did the work for recommended me to the HOA to put me on a vendor's list. I was jumping through the roof. I was going to get all kinds of business. I was going to be the guy for the HOA. In this particular HOA, you just go on a vendor's list, and that list is accessible by the people in there. The HOA doesn't push you. The HOA doesn't try to go around and see how many people want your services to get some kind of batch deal. You're just on a vendor's list. They have talked to you. They figured out your services. They figure out a price point, and they say that you either are or not a reasonable fit for the HOA, and then you're on a list. It then becomes, if there's 10 or 15 or 1,500 houses in the HOA, it becomes each individual person's responsibility to say, I need a house wash, and then they're going to either go to online or whatever to find somebody, or they're going to go look at the vendor's list. But they have to decide that they're going to go look at the vendor's list, and then you could just be thrown on there with 5 of the wash guys. So that being said, I don't according to this question, or in response to this question, how would you go about pricing something like this? I can't speak to that, because the HOAs around here, they're not going to take a bulk price. Basically though, what in your instance, if they do let you in and they do want to somehow bulk your services, how would you go about pricing something like this? Look, the one easy thing to do is look at them all. I don't know what the size of these are, but look at them as a house wash that you've done in the past, and discount that just a little bit. It's still a house. You're going to have 3 sides. You know, your end units are going to have 3 sides, so your end units are almost a full house, and then your middle units should be 2 sides. So, you know, take some pricing and some jobs that you've won in the past and just narrow it down to this. It's very hard though. I'd be very surprised if you know, say there's 20 homes in there. I'd be surprised if you're gonna get 20 jobs out of it. It's just not how the HOAs work in this area. So I don't really know if that answers this question, because it's kind of a really hard question to answer. What I would recommend doing is maybe doing EDDM to this HOA and bypass the whole vendors list, bypass the whole bulk thing, and just mail them to each door. A lot of HOAs don't let you solicit, so you can't really go door to door and do hangers, but you can mail stuff to that route. And then maybe outside the HOA property, out by the street where the town roads have the right of way, put up some yard signs. So everyone drives in and out of the HOA, they're going to see that. That's probably your best thing to do there. And that's just how the HOAs work in this area. All right, questions for next week. What's up, Mike? What process do you use on windows so you get no callbacks? I rinse heavily above the windows. That's the biggest thing. It's one thing to rinse the glass. Of course, we want to get the SH off the glass. But then if you just rinse the SH on the glass and you peel away, a lot of windows, a lot of that seal, a lot of the siding above, the trim, everything else is still going to rinse. You might do a really good job rinsing, but you're going to have a little bit of soap here, you're going to have a little bit of SH there, and it's going to come down. Before I do the windows, I rinse super heavy above the window. If there's a piece of siding, you know, if there's a section of siding to the right of that window that doesn't have a window under it, you know, I just blast it, you know, get the SH off. But above the window, I really harp on that, get a lot of water, make sure all that SH and soap is off. Then I let it drain, I go rinse somewhere else, and then I come back and hit the window. After I know that all that excess crap has drained down, hit the window real quick, you'll never get called back. You mentioned the hose has lasted quite a bit. Brand, it's a Curatech. It's a Curatech Chem hose. One difference between the Chem lines, if you're using a soft wash 12 volt system or a downstream pressure system, the pressure systems are high pressure. They got to have metal in them. Those hoses will go a lot quicker because they have the metal braids in there, and that the pressure washing system is not made in any way to be flowing chem. It's just been modified to do that. These 12 volt hoses, it's all rubber inside. I never rinse my hoses. I might rinse my reel like once or twice a season. You're not going to have any issues there. Really good Curatech, but there's a bunch out there. You just want to get anything that has a nice coating on the outside that's going to keep the abrasions down, and then all you need is just a rubber interior, nice thick walled, and the chem will never bother it. Don't use a garden hose. I see those questions. Don't use a garden hose. They'll bubble and burst before your first week is done. What have you learned about your current equipment? Would you go the same way of a 12 volt and downstream system? That might have been an or. I think that might have been an or. I don't know. I'm on the fence of both right now, but the more I learn about downstream, I'm peeling a little bit away from it. I got a few things that are going to come this winter that's going to update my system, but most likely it's not going to be in the downstream form. There's a lot of expense, there's a lot of wasted material, there's a lot of maintenance. Like I said, all that metal, everything corrodes. The 12 volt side is very maintenance free, no corrosion, no metal, almost all plastic, almost all corrosion resistant. The only things that I have to change out periodically is the pumps. I found a really nice pump brand. We'll talk on that one day a little bit more in detail, but they're flow jets, and they have done hundreds and hundreds of washes for me this season, and it's just now starting to die. I would keep my system and try to upgrade it. A lot of people say that the best thing about the downstream system is the rinsing, but it sounds like you're picking up a lot of expense, a lot of baggage, and a lot of wasted material and time just to have better rinsing. So I'm not hopping on board for that. Like I said a dozen times, you guys are starting to know I want to run my business as clean as possible, clean and lean. The pressure washing, the downstreaming, the more I learn about it, it's like a crutch. It sounds like it's a crutch. It makes some things easier, but it's really not the best portion for your business. It's better for you, but I'm trying to make as much money as possible and keep it in the business. And as of right now, I don't think that there's enough pros in the whole, well, it's a faster rinse to make me switch over to downstreaming. So hope that helps there. Hi, really liking your videos. Is it possible to see one of your invoices as an example of how you will bill people? Yes, I'll throw that up on the screen. I use Invoice to Go. There are many out there. Invoice to Go is just one that, again, was recommended to me when I started, and I've used it ever since. Don't go crazy with your invoicing. Last year I did so many invoices, paper estimates, because I thought that it was going to make me look professional. I was spending about 60 bucks a month on a version of Invoice to Go that allowed me to have a bunch of clients in there, send a bunch of invoices. This year I dropped it down to the very basic one. It's like less than 10 bucks a month. You're very limited on what you can do, but I've done over 230 something jobs this year, and I might have sent out 6 invoices. You don't have to be flashy. You don't have to spend a lot of money to run your business. You don't have to have invoices and all kinds of cool billing. You just need to go out and do the job, collect cash or check, and then if someone needs to pay by card, then you have this little service, 10 bucks a month, and you can send them an invoice to pay by card. Again, just you want to run your business the way you want to run your business, and that's fine. I'll show the invoice on here, but they're really not necessary, and I learned that this year. And again, I cut my expenses by just not sending out invoices and estimates. Someone wants a job, I text them back and say, hey, I can clean your house, this is the cost. When it comes time to bill, I want to be paid at service. If you're not there, can you leave the cash or a check under the door? Oh, you don't want to do that? That's fine, I'll invoice you. But I've knocked down my invoices like 98%. So just so you guys know that you do not have to have invoices. No one out there is really expecting it. You're just going to people's homes, or people just like you and me, and they just want you to show up. They're going to give you a little cash or a check. You don't have to worry so much about impressing people. They're literally just you're going to people's houses just like yours, right? So if you had someone show up the house and you don't care if there's an invoice, then most likely all the people around you don't really care either. So the invoice system is good. It's nice when you need it, but don't be getting anything crazy that you really don't need. Great video. If money was no issue, would you stay with the truck setup or would you go with a trailer? And my follow-up would be an enclosed trailer or an open landscape type trailer. If money was no issue, I would have an independent work truck, which one day I will, with a skid in it. Trailers are great. I know a lot of people that use trailers. Up here in the Northeast, a trailer would be awesome. An enclosed trailer would be awesome. Just keep the weather off of it. The reason that I don't want a trailer is just because I like to go all over the place during the day. I stop at the bank, I stop at stores, I maybe stop and get a little snack somewhere, I stop and see my sister, I stop and see my mom on the way home. And you always have a trailer. You know, if I don't want to go home and change and then go to the grocery store, then I got to take the trailer to the grocery store. Those are all like really minor things. Those are the reasons I don't have a trailer. Like, that's really it. I just like the ease of the skid goes in the truck and the skid goes where the truck goes, and it's that easy, it's that simple. The skid's really nice because if I have a breakdown, I know too many people that have skid steers and forklifts, and I can just get in a U-Haul truck or a spare truck. The same thing goes with a trailer. If your truck breaks down, you can just pop it off the hitch and put it on a U-Haul truck or a second vehicle. There's pros and cons to both, and both are perfectly fine solutions. It's going to come down to, what do you want? Do you want an enclosed trailer? Do you want to have a low wall exposed trailer? Do you want to have it in the truck? It's all the same. You're going to have a trailer or you're going to have a truck bed. It's going to be enclosed, it's going to be open. You're still going to have the hoses and the reels. Everything's going to be the same. It's just how you're transporting it. So in my personal opinion, I would just want a second independent truck, a dedicated truck for my my wash skid. But really, any option that you go with is going to be fine. It's what do you want? I know guys that can drive trucks and trailers better than they can drive a truck without a trailer. If that's you, then get that trailer and free up your truck bed. Just curious, did you create a job template of some kind to keep in the truck and complete as you work your day, then enter those into the computer at the end of the day? No, I don't. Again, I actually, in the beginning, I did have a little Excel sheet on my phone, and I did update it. It was way too clunky. It was way too hard to get into those Excel sheets and do stuff when you're on the go. On my phone, and I'll throw some screenshots up when I'm editing this. On my phone, I just have a basic little calendar that came with the phone. I input all my jobs on that calendar. I put the name, the address, and the pricing and the scope of work that I'm going to be doing. So if I'm driving, if I'm sitting waiting for a job, if I'm on a job, if I'm on a ladder and a call comes in, I can jot all that down on my phone real quick into the calendar, and then I take a screenshot of it. So at the end of the day, when I get home, I just had to go through my photos, and I got a screenshot of all the new business that came in that day, and I take those numbers and then I put that into an Excel sheet. And again, it's a little, that can be a little clunky too, but it seems to work out really well. It's worked really well for me, keeping everything in line, and it's just simple and it's free. Okay. Do you offer your customers debit, credit card payment options? If yes, how do you process those payments? Also, do you offer Venmo or PayPal? I do not offer Venmo or PayPal. I offer debit, credit. Yeah, I offer debit and credit payments, but it's like a last resort, only because there's a fee attached to it. So last year I took a lot of credit card options. It was fine. But then it's just more money out the door. Not only are you paying for the service, to the electronic billing service, but then you're going to have to pay the fee. This year I probably took less than 5% of my business on card. Everything else was cash or check, predominantly check. Again, this is my sole 100% 365 day a year income. This is my job. So I try to take stuff check. I want to put it in the bank. I want to have I want to be able to show that I made income. I don't want to hide it. I do take a little bit of cash here and there when people want to pay cash, and don't turn it away, but I always ask for a check made to the business. And then I use that same invoice to go. Not only can I do my estimates and my invoicing through there, the invoicing can then be turned into a billable, basically a text message or an email. You send it to them, they pop in the link, pop in their credit card, and you get paid that way. I think this is going to be... We got a couple more here. A lot of questions coming through, so we'll squeeze them in. Do you ever cover up side light fixtures and electrical boxes, electrical breaker panels? Okay. No, I do not. Should you? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Have I popped an outlet before? Yes, I have. I popped it in my first year, probably my first couple months, and then it was really simple to not do it again. I just didn't spray outlets. And when I get to near electrical boxes, I don't spray them. I spray above them. I let them drip down. They're usually pushed off the house slightly, so everything kind of runs behind it around all that electrical boxing. If you want to go around and tape them all up, be my guest. It's just again, it's material wasted, and it's just more of your time. You got to go tape everything up and then come back. You want to run your business that way, go ahead. You're more, I guess you're a little bit more responsible in that aspect than me. I don't think it's necessary. So last year I probably did close to 150, maybe close to 200 washes. This year I know of 230. That was the last time I updated my sheet. We're probably pushing on 250 right now. Haven't popped anything this year. So, you know, 1 out of over 300, like, I'm not going to be wasting my time covering up outlets. If I was popping like 1 out of 5, or like, you know what I mean? If it was a lot more frequent, then yeah, I'd be taping them all up. But as long as you're careful, I just don't think that you need to do it. What % of sodium hypochlorite are you using? Mainly 15%. That's what I get from my distributor. My distributor has been a little bit of a pain in the butt lately. It's not really their fault. They're really big. They're all over the East Coast. They just don't have drivers due to the whole COVID thing and unemployment and people being out, and just the whole just the whole everything with the supply chain that's going on. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, like, things are getting held up. So I was getting 15% from them for a while, but I'm kind of slowing down here now. I'm getting chlorine by the jug from pool stores. And that's usually 12.5%. I'm just not interested in buying more chlorine than I need this season, than having it sit out in these Adirondack winters and then potentially losing its bang for next year. So I want to keep my SH fresh, and I'm just buying 12.5% right now. Either is fine. You spray roofs like I do. I really soak it good. You really got to soak it. I don't find a light misting gets the job done. What are you using for surfactant? Looks sticky. If you do a light mist on something that's dirty, you're going to be going back. Even if it's dirty and you soak it, you want to just get off the roof, take a little break, have a protein bar, climb back up there, and double check it one more time. Maybe get another spray before you go. You might have to stay on site an extra 10 minutes to make sure that your mix was good, that you got it covered. Algae grows in layers, so you want to make sure that it's breaking down through all that. Maybe it could use a little bit more. That extra 10 minutes is no big deal. What is a big deal is maybe that half-hour drive, or that 15-minute drive that you got to go back. You got to deal with the homeowner. Sorry that I didn't leave behind a good product. And got to get all my equipment out, run the hot SH, get up on the, you know what I mean? Like, it's easier to just stick around for a few minutes. Don't be in a rush, and really get those roofs clean. Light misting is good sometimes if you're washing a really dirty section of a roof and there's a section next to it that isn't that dirty, but you don't want to, you want them to be as even as possible. I'll light mist that, but you don't want to light mist anything that is visibly dirty. The surfactant that I use, again, is Roof Snot. They're out of Kentucky. It's bleach safe, incredibly sticky. I also use way more than I need to every single time because I like how sticky it is. And Oh, that's about it. So we rifled through a bunch there. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the view. Trying to do like a different spot every time, because I figure if I just sit there and stare at the camera, you know, it's not as fun. So hope this is all helping. Keep leaving those questions, and I'll see you guys soon.